Applied Creative Training creates social change through innovative storytelling and new media. We build trust into public health and public policy. At ACT, we develop training tools that are more than just how-to manuals. We dare you to practice innovation. Don't be afraid to experiment. ACT is an industry leader in hands-on training production.
Your attention, please. You're an important part of any disaster response. You may find the following information critical in the event of an emergency. The future depends on protecting those among us who are vulnerable. Their best hope is your training and skill. We public health responders are the first line of defense.
Another one just hit.
September 11th, 2001. The threat of terrorism hits home. Today we must prepare for the possibility of all kinds of terrorist attacks, including bioterrorism. In the event of a public health disaster, CDPH may need to respond by dispensing or administering protective medications to the public. As a public health professional or supporter of the health mission, you may be called upon to participate in our team of public health first responders. At a City of Chicago Dispensing and Vaccination Center, or DVC, you'll help minimize the ill effects of a public health disaster by providing protective medicines to the public. A swift and aggressive prophylaxis campaign has the potential to save hundreds of thousands of lives. Your role in that, or any public health disaster, is essential.
As a Chicago Department of Public Health employee, a supporting city agency employee, or a non-city volunteer, the Chicago Department of Public Health leadership urges you to please consider playing a role in supporting their public health response missions. Should you join the CDPH response team and an event occurs, the city will call upon you to help protect the citizens and visitors of Chicago from a bioterrorist attack, epidemic, or any other event requiring emergency medicines or vaccination. Successfully providing mass prophylaxis to the public during a disaster requires enormous effort and coordination of thousands of people across the city, working in concert with city, county, state, and federal governments. While planning ahead for such events requires the city to coordinate with many agencies and organizations, the reality is that mission success depends on the actions and performance of individuals like you.
So I'm here to talk about the Welcome and Assistance Center that the City of Chicago set up at Fosco Park to work with the victims, the evacuees from the Hurricane Katrina in 2005. I was instrumental in the setting up of this I'm with the Chicago Department of Human Services, and other key departments included the Office of Emergency Management, which was absolutely critical to the operation, the Chicago Department of Public Health, and others. So we started thinking about this the weekend of Labor Day. Fosco Park was a new facility. It was not yet fully used, and so it was ideal for us. It had the space, and we didn't have to really disrupt a lot of programming that was already going on.
One size fits all. I, Marty Chambers, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Hi, this is Lynn to the command station. Brian, are you there? Over.
How many are in each? I think it's 50 per bag. 50 per bag? So you need I'd take 3 per section.
3 per section?
Then you'll have enough.
All right.
I want to begin the discussion. We have a lot of doctors on the panel, but I want to begin with a parent. So I want to ask you, Mrs. Betters, what's the story? What happened with you and your children recently?
I have 3 children, and I've always immunized without question, just taken them to their appointments and done what I was told to do. And my older 2 children had mild reactions, low-grade fever, things that were explained. But recently, my 15-month-old, at his 12-month checkup, when he received the big combination vaccine, had a reaction that started out as a persistent low-grade fever and a mild body rash. And then he just was not himself. I don't know what to do.
Dr. Parikh, you're a pediatrician. I'm going to make you her pediatrician for the time being. What would you say to her?
You know, the first thing is I would take your concern very seriously. There's a tendency, I think, across some pediatricians tend to not want to address the issue because they're sort of nervous about what it means when your kid has a vaccine reaction. But we should start thinking about what it is, if there is something in the vaccine that may be, and then there are things that kids can have allergic reactions to. We should probably look a little bit for those things.
An unusual thing started happening in the 1990s right under our feet. Technicians started replacing wires with fiber optic cables. They called it pulling glass, and it set the stage for a new millennium of super-connected communities, and subtly started a process that would change the way we do public health communication. We have crossed the electronic divide. If there was any question before about how connected our public health community needs to be, the new standard is clear. Technology is changing our world literally at the speed of light, and public health needs to take this opportunity to change with it or risk disconnecting from its mission and the public. Our mission to promote the public's health depends more and more on using technology. Maria Volk and her family are typical Californians, with one small exception. Maria works in public health.
I'm a public health advisor with Centers for Disease Control, and I work with the California Department of Public Health and Immunization. And my husband is a IT consultant, has his own business. And this is my son, Andrew, who's 3, or AJ as we call him.
Maria and her family are immersed in technology. The first thing they do in the morning is connect.
When I wake up in the morning, either my BlackBerry's on my nightstand next to me, and I'll just kind of lean it, check, see if there's anything on there.
I think 5 minutes out of bed and I'm already checking my email.
I don't even think about it really anymore.
And like most families, Maria, Lowell, and AJ are using more media and technology. Not just because they love gadgets, but because technology enables them to do what they want to do. Multitask to keep up with all their work and play activities. Maria is a living example of the profound shift affecting all of us, who are both public health workers and public health consumers.
The public health consumer is changing a great deal as we speak. People no longer wanted to be talked down to, told what to do, said take your aspirin and call me in the morning. That model doesn't work anymore. Public health consumers now want to have all the information in a way they can understand from multiple sources, not only from experts but from peers, from people like me is the phrase that we use, and then they will make their own decisions on what's best for them.
The consumer revolution has taken place and the consumer has won, so consumers are now using communications tools and media platforms that they've never had access to before. And this opens up a world of possibility for consumers. And so nowadays we see a consumer that feels newly empowered in the marketplace, and newly empowered in many ways, but the core essence of this empowerment is access to information.
Maria.
H2O is so refreshing, isn't it? Oh, don't forget me. Thank you. That is disgusting.
You should think before you drink because the flu will make you blue.